This is a K2 Storm Tracker weather alert.
That's Storm Tracker weather alert because while you were sleeping, snow fell across the metro area.
K2 is on your side this morning with what you need to know to get out the door safely. But first, what kids across Oregon and Southwest Washington want to know: will there be school today? About a half an hour ago, Portland Public Schools canceled classes. Beaverton Public Schools are on a 2-hour delay, along with Vancouver and Evergreen Public Schools. All the closures, all the delays are scrolling at the bottom of your screen. You can also find them online at KATU.com.
We have live team coverage for you this morning. Our crews are stationed across 2 states, and photojournalist Mike Warner is driving all around the area monitoring conditions. But first, let's check in with K2 meteorologist Rhonda Shelby.
Yeah, and Rhonda, the snow is moving east.
Yeah, let's show it to you right now on Storm Tracker Doppler radar. Here in town, the snow has ended, but east of the area is where it is still snowing steadily, especially along I-84, just leaving Rideau Vale going into Hood River and White Salmon along I-84. In fact, you're going to see that snow right down to the highway. And also up in the Cascades at the moment, which is a foregone conclusion. But generally here, we are looking at drier weather. And by the way, I think the sun will actually come out later on. But at the moment, we're dealing with the icy leftovers. So those of you heading out the door right now will be delayed more than likely because of the driving conditions. 30 degrees is the current temperature. We'll be up to 34 by noon. Daytime high, though, will warm to 37. We'll see some melting at that time, but also refreezing is the next part of the story we'll talk about for tonight in 10 minutes from now.
Rhonda just talked about that snow eastbound on I-84 and into the gorge, and that's what we're seeing here. Your Chevy Equinox time saver traffic, a new crash here. This one at Corbett Hill Road eastbound on I-84. That may be blocking the road there. Meanwhile, back into the city itself, we're talking about I-84 eastbound at 60th. The left lane block there. This may be affecting you as you approach I-205. And farther south on I-205 itself, the Abernathy Bridge, we've been tracking this for quite some time. Those elevated surfaces are very icy, especially through this area, Gladstone, Westland, Oregon City. So watch for that. Still blocking the lanes there as well.
All right, Mary, Rhonda, thank you. We have crews spread out throughout the area this morning.
K2's Jackie Lebrecht is live right now in Gresham. Jackie, how are things there?
You know, we're on 223rd. This is quite the hill. People who are coming up, they're doing a good job. A few minutes ago, and you probably saw it off the top when we were live really quickly there, they were towing someone from here, but folks coming down are really headed north on the hill toward Gleason. We just came down here. It is not pretty. There is plenty of ice. It's about 28 degrees out here, so everything that fell overnight, Rhonda was talking about this, it's frozen on the road, so not a pretty situation. The sidewalks themselves, I'll tell you, it's not bad. I'd say there's about a half an inch or so here on the ground. It's not too bad, especially if you have a good pair of shoes on, boots on. You're able to kind of get that footing, which is great. But there are spots where maybe the snow's been broken up. It's forming those sort of ice crystals, and that's what we're seeing on the road. So that's why it's definitely bad out here. We saw this hill and we pulled over immediately. People are getting stuck trying to get up here. So not a good situation this morning. It's tough. You got to keep that momentum, but at the same time, go slow. So finding that balance, no easy task. For now, live here in Gresham, Jackie Lebrecht, K2 News.
Jackie's from New Hampshire, so she can help people if they get stuck on the hill. She knows what she's doing. Thanks, Jackie. PPB East Precinct officers were out all night monitoring for trouble spots. They tweeted these photos of a crash at Northeast 122nd and Gleason, and they wrote, "Too fast for conditions. Driver tried to brake for red light and skidded. Thankfully, no one was hurt." Let's go now to K2's Kelly Ozer in Vancouver.
Yeah, Kelly, you're at what, 205 in Mill Plain?
That's right, we are. We're a little bit farther down, so closer to Cheklov, but I'll tell you what, conditions are very interesting as you get to Vancouver. Let's go over to the streets first, though. So this is Mill Plain and Cheklov. You can see in the intersection as you cross over, if say you're making a left-hand turn, there is quite a bit of buildup of that slushy snow. And again, temperatures over here are still about 28 degrees. People are moving pretty quickly, probably a little quicker than I would be, but hey, what do you do? Anyways, take it slow. it is still about 28 degrees out here, like I was saying, so it's still pretty chilly. Just down the road to the west, you will see this is where the on-ramps are to 205. I've seen a couple of flashing lights like WashDOT crews going by. I know that they've been working on 205. That's obviously a hot spot. One thing I want to mention before we go, Anthony doesn't know I'm going to do this, so don't get mad at me, Anthony, but come with me real quick. Cars, your biggest thing, this is our rig right here. Your biggest thing with the cars, clear them off. I've seen a lot of snow going by and flying off of those roofs. Anthony did a wonderful job cleaning off our rig. You wouldn't believe that it's been outside all day, but this is one of the biggest issues that I see on the roads, especially as I was driving in this morning, snow coming off the top, hitting drivers, and it can obstruct your view. So definitely clean off your cars before you head out. We're live in Vancouver. Kelly Ozier, KATU News.
Yeah, that's a great reminder, Kelly. Thanks very much. We have Tamara Greenwell with WashDOT on the phone with us right now.
Tamara, what are your trouble spots this morning?
Trouble spots we usually see are bridges, overpasses, and ramps. So far this morning, looks like folks are taking it slow. No collisions to report currently, but as more people get on the road, we hope that they'll stay at a slow speed so that we don't have any.
Right. Tamara, you're looking at, we're looking at right now the shot of the Glen Jackson Bridge just over on the Vancouver side. We can see a slow go, but we also see still quite a bit of snow sort of in between the lanes. Are your crews able to clear some of that?
Yeah, so we target the slow lane first when we do our snow and ice operations, and then branch out from there into the next lane and the next lane. So they've been working since Sunday night to put down a pre-wet, which is a de-icer and salt blend, which helps to start breaking that apart. And as we get more traffic on the roadway, the tires mix that in with the slush and also help to break it down.
All right, great. Tamara, thanks very much. Appreciate the update.
Thank you.
Live look now at Seattle, where kids are getting another day off from school. A couple of inches of snow fell there yesterday, creating slick conditions for drivers. Farther north in Snohomish County, a foot of snow fell in Lake Stevens.
With temperatures dropping and snow falling, several shelters in our area are now open. If you need a place to stay warm, you can find a list of shelters open in your county on our website, KATU.com. You can also call 211 for information about shelters near you, or also visit 211info.org.
From the Portland metro area to Southwest Washington and the coast, you can count on K2 to keep you updated on weather conditions and how they impact you. If you're headed out the door, be sure to take us with you by downloading our Storm Tracker weather app. It's free on the Apple app and the Google Play stores.
6:06, and let's talk about what happened last night. You went to sleep. You probably didn't even have any snow where you were when you went to sleep, and then all of a sudden you're waking up to about an inch of snow on the ground. Here's the estimated snow cover from this really really fast-hitting weather maker that went through last night. So what you see now is you're waking up to about an inch generally for the average snow cover here in the metro area. A little less on the west side. It didn't snow that hard or that for the most part often for you folks on the west side west of I-5, but then east of I-5 we've had the snow around a little longer around Gresham and Boring, up to about 1 to 2 inches of snow now as far as snow cover. Woodburn, Salem, about an inch of snow to a half an inch depending on where you are, and about a half an inch to an inch in Yamhill County, as well as parts of Almsville and Turner up to about an inch. So that's what the radar picked up as far as total snow cover. It may be a little more or a little less in your neighborhood, but that is why we're slipping around this morning. So let's talk about this little disturbance that passed through last night. It actually started up in eastern Washington, and then what we call a deformation band, it just stretched out back toward our area, and we ended up seeing snow fairly early on last night. Around 9 or 10 o'clock is when some of it started for most of the metro area. And then it kept snowing overnight last night pretty steadily, and now that whole batch has moved off to the east into the Cascades and the Gorge, where it will finally dissipate in the next several hours. But that's going to be it for the day. You're not going to need to worry about any more snow today. It's just getting around on the snow that we already have on the ground right now. So what to expect? Steady snow is just done now for the metro area. But you will have that slick driving on the half an inch or inch on the roadways that we're seeing. And now that the roadways are cold enough, down around 28 to 30 degrees, it's going to be sticking around into the afternoon. But the good news for the afternoon is we will see temperatures warm above freezing, just barely above freezing because of the snow cover left on the ground. But that will help clear the roads a little bit more if you have places you have to be for the afternoon. The rest of your forecast coming up in 10 minutes from now.
And your Chevy Equinox time saver traffic now with a look at this crash again. Eastbound I-84, this one out in the Corbett Hill area. I want to watch for that as you transition to more snow as you move farther to the east there. Meanwhile, this one on southbound I-205 has been here for quite some time now. We're still hearing it's causing some problems, not only on I-205 with slowing toward the Abernathy Bridge where conditions are very icy, and that's where this crash occurred, but also affecting Highway 213 as you approach I-205. So be prepared for the brake lights there. Meanwhile, typical slowing now as you come down southbound I-205. This is going to take you about 20 minutes to get down from 4th Plain to Airport Way. We'll check in with Mike Warner, who is in the Chevy Equinox live drive in Vancouver on SR 500.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I'm just about to get on I-5. It's been a really slow going on SR 500. You see the way the road's covered in snow. That's all the way from 205 all the way here to I-5. So we're going about 20 to 30 miles an hour all the way over here. It's very slick. You can feel it under your tires. So just be really careful. You can see getting on I-5, it's bunched up there as you head into the bridge. It's going to be slow going no matter where you go. If you can stay home, do it. If you have to get out here, just take it really easy. Mary?
Thanks, Mike.
Mary, Mike, thank you. 6:09 now. Our Storm Tracker weather team coverage continues all morning long. Coming up, the word of warning from WSDOT about snow plows, especially if you find yourself driving near one.
A live look now at the nation's capital where the Supreme Court could take up abortion soon. Our national correspondent breaks down why a woman's right to choose is up for debate again.
And new overnight, a hurt hiker rescued. The new images and video into our newsroom of her return to safety.